Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. This is not your first time. Thank you for coming back. So let's go ahead and get a few things on screen. I asked what this reading was going to be about, and what I heard is excuse me. Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't have cute Disney princess sneezes. What I heard is someone is watching you, wishing a mofo would is what it is. Someone is watching you wishing. I don't know what they're wishing for. Thank you, Danny. Let's go ahead and just pull some cards. Let's make this quick and painful. Thank you, guys. All right. Bless you. All righty. Gonna make this quick and painless, right? No fighting the process. No fighting the process. Debating. I'm debating. What am I debating? If I should go to the gym or not. That's what I'm debating. I don't know. I'm still semi-injured. I'm like, I could totally do upper back, not lower back. It's not the lower back, it's the hip. So anything that hinges. That's what I'm thinking about right now. Can I really stop myself from doing hinge items? Possible. Anywho. I yell too. Yeah, no, I yell when I sneeze. Okay. Fine, I'll shuffle. Okay. Let's get started. Here goes. All right. Okay. Things are going to lessen. They're not going to be as intense. They're not going to be as I want to use the word crazy, and I'm not sure why. They're not going to be as crazy as they once were. Probably because you're falling into better alignment with whatever it is you need to be aligned with. But someone is watching you, wishing. I don't know what they're wishing for still. Someone is watching you, and it's, yeah, see. They're watching you, and they're feeling some type of way about you. Is this a love reading? It makes my it makes my butt clench when it's a love reading. Let me release the clench. All right. Okay. Here goes. So there's someone watching you. They see you as a goddess, and they're trying to secure and rebalance themselves while also respecting your boundaries, right? So I don't know that this is a bad thing. I don't think that it's a bad thing. I think it's just kind of a thing. And if you take it too far into that like interpretation space where, you're trying to make sense of it, you're trying to figure out who it is, that usually ends up badly for you. Let me just be very honest with you. I assume that you are like me, and if you don't have the complete story, you're going to create an entire story in your head, right? In your head. It's just one of those things where we have to really allow ourselves. We have to really, really allow ourselves to, I guess, be honest with the way we treat ourselves, the way we the way we always put ourselves in a worst case scenario. If you are someone who's experienced bad things happening to you repeatedly, if you're someone who has experienced people being very um, malignant towards you, there's likelihood that's how you see things. The moment you begin to recognize that this is going to be a not so good experience, you're going to go ahead and go for worst case scenario. Not everything is worst case scenario, but at the same time, not everything is you being dramatic, right? So it's this thing of don't overanalyze this. It's either going to apply to you and you'll see it later on, or it's not. That's just kind of how it is. It's either going to apply to you and you'll see exactly how it applies to you later on, or it's not. So we just leave it at that, right? We're not going to try and figure out who it is. Whoever this is that's watching you, they are having a hard time concealing their feelings. They're having a hard time. I think you know who it is, to be honest. I think you know who it is, and I think it's definitely something that's been difficult for you. Whoever this is, it's a difficult thing for you to I guess you could say accept. It's a difficult thing for you to accept um the way you feel about this, right? I don't know if that makes sense. Let me pull out all the cards. Hold up. I want to see because I want to see. That's why. Michael's like, why are you pulling out the cards? Because I want to see. Don't even start with don't you trust me? Obviously, I do not. Obviously, I do not. um, so this is someone who's having a hard time coming back home to you. They are very much struggling with the way things played out before. See, like trying to respect your boundaries, right? Trying to make sure that their presence does not make you feel unsafe or insecure. They're trying to rebalance things in order to be worthy of being in the presence of a goddess. But again, they're having a hard time hiding whatever it is they're feeling. Um, I would assume that this is someone you have maybe some type of energetic connection to. Um, well, that's my assumption that you already have this energetic connection with this person and you can feel exactly what's going on without having any, I guess, proof of what's going on. Maybe this is someone that you don't interact with at this point, but you feel it. That's the sense, right? That's the sense. Wand, intention. So I think what's really messing me up is the fact that it seems like there's different energies. It seems like there's different energies. So for some, the energy tells me that this person is very honorable in their intentions. They're being very respectful of your boundaries, your time, your space. Um, they're being very considerate and very careful of the way they approach you because they don't want to mess up an opportunity to reconnect with you. But on the flip side of that, I also feel another energy where it's like very disrespectful, very disregarding of your space, your sovereignty, just like a nasty energy. I get sick and tired of that type of energy, those type of people who like let me just Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, he does. Because energy is straight up like Demon Horita. Like, it's a demon Horita type energy. It's a straight up Horita. It's a demon rider energy. As is nasty. Nasty. Um, and I have to laugh about it because if not, I'm gonna be really pissed off about it. I don't want you guys experiencing that this early in the morning. Looks like I will be working out to get that aggression out of my system. Um, I'm just trying to think of like, what can you do to really make it clear that certain types of energies are not welcome in your field? And it's this thing of these are the types of individuals that are literally incapable of grasping that really you give zero cacaws about them, right? There are people who exist who will tell themselves an entire story of why they're entitled to your time, your space, your energy, your love, because they've placed a label on you. People who have been disrespectful of my time, my space, my energy in the past, who have tried to take ownership of me and try and convince me of their entitlement to me, my energy, my vajayjay even. These are people who they try and tell me that I am your twin. No, no, you're not. You're a demon Harita. You're a demon whore. That's what you are. That's why I want nothing to do with you. I know exactly who my twins are. I know exactly who they are. I found quite a few. See, one of the ways I know they're my twin, they're not disrespectful of my time, my space, my energy, my sovereignty. That's how I know. They're respectful like I am. I don't impress upon you my desires. I honor what you want. You could never, ever, ever try and convince me you have the honor of that type of connection with me when you're incapable of being like me. And that's the thing, you guys. When someone is nothing like you, they can't respect your boundaries. They can't understand you. And here's the thing. I'm sure quite a few of my twins don't quite agree with some of the decisions that I've made and the way that I've handled certain situations. And I'm sure at least several of them have been upset with me or are still upset with me for whatever reason, but never are they disrespectful of my sovereign space. Never. Never. So when you have someone who is trying to convince you they have ownership of you because you don't know, I know. No, they don't know. They don't know. They are lying to themselves. And in their attempt to convince themselves their lie is the truth, they're trying to force you to agree. Every single last one of the people that I've identified as a twin of some kind, they have not been the one to tell me what they are to me. I have come to my own conclusions about these people. And then when we discuss it, they're like, oh, well, that makes sense. Right. Agreement without force, without coercion. And then life carries on. You live your life, I live my life. It's all good. It's all good. There's no ownership there. It's that nasty energy emitted by nasty people that you need to really steer clear of. Someone is watching you wishing. You have to make sure it's not one of those people. Because if it's one of those people and you let that into your life, I'm saying, don't feel so bad for someone that you'll believe their lie just to get them to calm down. Like, I don't think so. You better figure out a way to calm down on your own terms. I'm not your mom. You did not travel down my vajayjay. No, no. It is not my job to parent you. I have my own kids that I parent. You are not one of them. It is not your job to stand in as a parental unit for another adult. And if someone cannot respect your boundaries, your time, your space, your sovereignty, your capacity to make decisions for yourself, to think for yourself, that is a child. And they need to go back home to their parent. Stop bothering you. Right? So for that other energy, though, they're not doing this to you. They're not disrespecting you in any way, shape, or form. They are working so hard to balance themselves, to secure themselves, to respect your boundary. They haven't come back home to you because they still don't see themselves as worthy of being in your presence. And that's not a bad energy. That is not a bad energy. A person who can understand that there are certain standards that they have to be capable of reaching and maintaining in order to be worthy of your space. People will try and convince you that you're being too picky. No. See, I'm not too picky. I have standards. And the people who try and convince me that I'm too picky are the people who can't live up to my standards. And they're trying to coerce me into compliance of lowering my standards to what they can reach. I'm sorry. Try harder. Work harder. Be worthy of me and my grace. I'm not going to lower anything. I don't think so. That's what makes you a catch. Someone who is elusive and exclusive, someone who doesn't just cave to the will of a lesser consciousness. You want to be around me, be my equal or better. I said what I said. If you want to be around me, you have to be my equal or better than me, because if you're better than me, you can help me to learn and grow and become your equal. Yep. And for the people who are going to be like, well, Emmy, you just kind of contradicted yourself. No, I didn't. These are my standards. Well, what about the people that are less than you that can learn from you? They can learn from the sideline while they observe me, not disturbing my peace. I don't think so. I've done that too many times for too many years. Fuck that shit. What now? I said what I said. What now? Nothing. Because you have no effect on the way I'm going to live my life. And that's just that. When you can live with no apologies in that way, what happens? Beautiful things happen. You begin to surround yourself with the people who understand your value. So you no longer question your value. And when you stop questioning your value, more of your energy goes towards building an even more beautiful life. I'm not talking about money and material things. I'm talking about cultivating a garden that's so peaceful that you never want to leave it. You know why I don't need a vacation from my life? Because my life is amazing. It's a very simple life, but it's amazing. It carries within it the type of peace that I crave, the kind of peace that I need, the kind of peace that makes it possible for me to not hide away from the life that I'm living. So there is someone that has a capacity to meet you there. They have the capacity to be your equal, if not more than what you need. Don't settle. It doesn't matter how many years you've been single. There's no timeline that you have to live by. None. You don't have to live your life by numbers, or by a certain age, you need to have X amount of children. And by another age, you need to have bought a property with these specific features in it. And you have to drive this specific car. That's a Stepford soul. That's not a sovereign. That's a Stepford. That's you living based on what other people are dictating to you, what other people are saying is valid. Let me share with you. Back in I want to say 2015. Is it 2015? Maybe it's 2016. No, it's 2014. 2014, I lived in California. I lived in an area where they were already planning some of the specs of building a Tesla plant, right? I live like maybe 5 minutes away, 10 minutes away. And before they could finish all of that, they were just in the talks of it, finalizing the talks. My family and I to sell our house and move out of California. And everyone's, oh my God, you're so crazy. Because what? Beyond Nevada is Narnia? If you're from California, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Anything beyond the Bay Area, either northern or southern Bay, it's Narnia. And that's just nonsensical. It's nonsensical. It's nonsensical. And in 2016, we decided, we're going to go ahead and live in an RV full time and just keep going. And everyone said I was crazy. Oh my God, you're so crazy. You're so unstable. The same motherfuckers now who are trying so hard to go and buy an RV because they want to do that too. I thought I was crazy, unstable. See, sometimes you have to realize you are the trailblazer of your group. You are the one that is showing other people that they are free to live in whatever way they choose to live, so long as they're not intentionally harming other people. And that's a very difficult position to exist within. Why? Because no one in your environment will ever understand you as you're going through the things you're going through. It takes them years, literal years, to catch up. It's okay, though. It's okay. You're strong enough to handle that. That's what you were created to do. To show people a way out of their misery, their suffering. And how do you show them a way out? It's not by lecturing them. It's not by forcing them to agree with you because now you've come across information that you are hyped off of. No, it's by living your life with no hesitation, without hiding it. Letting them witness you in whatever space you're in and having no shame about the space that you're in. The time is ripe for you to really, really, really experience how powerful you are, the type of effect you have on other people. Not because you're trying to be a leader. See, the people who try to be a leader and want to be a leader, oftentimes they make the most horrendous leaders. They're very much run by ego and trying to prove like they feel less than inside, and so they project it out into their environment. And how many people they can dominate is very much equal to how valuable they are. Like, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. You know how I know I'm very, very powerful within my life? I don't need you to agree or understand. I simply hold a space for any who wants to join me to witness me in my processing of my thoughts, my opinions. Do you know how powerful you have to be able to sit in that space, knowing there will be those who will try and tear you down, who will try and degrade you in some way, but none of that matters because you can't be touched. Why can't you be touched? Because you exist in your own space. And that space is ruled strictly by you. And people can't access you unless you give them permission to. I mean, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very, very, very beautiful thing. So let them watch and wish. Whoever this is, let them watch and wish. Maybe wish they can reconnect or wish they hadn't messed up so badly that they'll never have a chance to reconnect with you again. Who knows? It's up to you. You get to decide. You get to decide. And be careful about letting people across a bridge that's already been condemned. They tend to not care about the signs that say it's condemned. And then they blame you when they twist their ankle walking across places They shouldn't be walking across just to access someone who doesn't want to be accessed. I'm saying. See, some bridges don't need to be maintained. They need to be allowed to rot, if not burned to the ground, so that, people who have this type of energy and intention for you, towards you, can really access you. See, but they'll tell you like it's your fault because you didn't maintain the bridge. That bridge was not maintained for a reason, because I wanted the decay to prevent you from crossing over. I have no shame telling someone you can walk right across back to your side and watch me from the other side of the river. I'm good. I'm good off that. I don't think so. Okay. Some things you cannot clear out. So, for one of those energies, the not toxic one, for some reason, they can't clear this out, this need. Um, this need to kind of figure out what you are to them in their life. I don't know if that makes sense. There are some people who have tried to like leave you alone and walk away, but they can't seem to clear out the essence of you from their thoughts, from their feelings, from their own essence. There's a commingling that occurred. It doesn't have to be some type of sexual intimacy, but there is a commingling that occurred between the consciousness and they can't clear it out. It's a symbiotic type of commingling, one that's allowed by the higher selves. And that's why it can't be cleared out. It's something that humans have a hard time understanding. So they can't clear it out, and it makes them feel upside down in their personal power over themselves and their lives. And what needs to happen for them to be able to finish processing whatever this is they need to have an opportunity to interact again. I'm assuming to better understand whatever this is they're trying to understand. It's not necessarily that you have to be in a romantic relationship with someone. That's a choice that you make. You don't choose how you feel. You don't necessarily choose how other people make you feel. You choose what you do with those feelings and how you interpret them. That's what you can choose, right? You can choose to either embrace feelings of warmth and curiosity of, could this potentially be a love connection, or you can use it and I mean, you could feel it and use it to justify your freak out and be like, no, I'm good. It's up to you. I don't know what you need to do. These are decisions that you need to sit with yourself, and you need to think about what you should decide for yourself. um One of the things that I really want to tell you guys, and I hope you receive it at the gravity and depth that I am hoping you receive it at. Okay. Just you've passed with one does not mean it was a good life. It does not mean you have a love connection. It does not mean you are supposed to be together. A past life connection is simply a connection in a previous life. You still have the right and the obligation to yourself to decide if you are going to rekindle whatever that connection is in this life. Now, remember, not all past life connections are good. For quite a few, these past life connections are where they have harmed you. They have harmed you, and they're being brought back into this life to give you the opportunity to choose whether or not you are going to go through that lesson again. Really let that sink in. Really let yourself wrap your mind around that. Okay? See, we've been led to believe that if there's a past life connection, that it's good. This is like, ooh, we're in love again. Mm-mm. It's not true. It's not true. It is just not true. It's not. I don't want to share that. So we have to make sure. Someone's like, don't want to share. Michael's telling me to share something I don't want to share regarding past lives, um, regarding my past lives. See, that's how you exercise your sovereignty. You pick and choose what you want to participate in and what you don't. I don't want to participate in that suggestion, so I'm not going to. And no, it's not messages for you guys. It's a sharing of details of my previous lives, and I have the right and the obligation to myself to decide whether or not I want to share that. Today, I don't want to share that. Not only does it have to be okay, it is okay. Life will go on. Okay? So, moon cycles. There are things that are hidden from you, and they're hidden from you in cycles. They come forward and then they're taken away. They come forward and then they're taken away. And if you decide that you want to explore those cycles, I mean, that's not a bad thing, but that definitely will cause you to be immersed in the cycle even further, right? So you just make sure you make decisions based on what you are willing to experience and what you're not. And some people be like, well, I thought you said, I thought you said there are some things, Palladorian contracts. Honey, not everything is a Palladorian contract. Don't get caught up in that cycle of using spiritual concepts to justify you forcing yourself into something that you don't need to force yourself into, right? Palladorian contracts, whether you want to participate or not, it's something that's going to play out and you will be a part of that. You probably won't even realize you're a part of that. Most human beings are not sensitive enough to recognize what is a Palladorian contract. Too many people encouraged by other spiritual people to humanize spiritual celestial concepts. I had someone that was like, I was talking about a message that I received regarding the 1212 portal. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be doing a special event on 1210. It's a 1212 portal primer event. It's a private fire ceremony for those who are in the soul sanctuary.love. You know exactly why. I don't want to talk about that here or anywhere else ever again. You know exactly why and what the 1212 portal is going to be. Some are going to try and use that portal date for. But that 1210 event, it's a private fire ceremony. And the link is pinned in both Facebook and YouTube. The link is pinned. Okay. So I don't know what I was talking about now. Okay. You are strong, but that strength means nothing if you don't have the ability to focus. That's like when people have psychic abilities, but they can neither use that ability with intention or accuracy. Then what's the point? If you can start fires with your mind, but you can't figure out how you do that, and you randomly set things on fire just by thinking about it, you randomly turn off the stove, a gas stove, just because you don't know how you did that, then that's a useless power. You know, it's useless. As a matter of fact, it's more than useless. It is a freaking liability, right? So you have to be able to utilize your strength with intention and accuracy. You have to develop that. Like if you have let me turn this off. It's cooking my legs. um if you have the type of elevation and discernment that makes you very good at predicting things, um predicting if someone has good intentions, bad intentions, but you can't control that, and now you're kind of just guessing about people's intentions. You could be missing out on amazing opportunities, or you could be totally shoving yourself into a situation that is very, very unhealthy for you, right? So that's something you have to cultivate. You have to allow yourself to have these conversations with your soul to cultivate these things. Someone is watching you wishing. I'm wondering if whoever's watching you has been watching you cultivating yourself and your abilities. Um, they've been watching you step into your personal power. They've been watching you become so much more comfortable in existing. Oh my God, that's a beautiful thing. I'm so Piscean, it's ridiculous. Let me put my hat on. I'm so Piscean, it's ridiculous. Things like that are just so romantic and beautiful. You know what I'm saying? When the person doesn't bother you, but instead they work so hard on themselves and their energy and their perception, and then you just suddenly feel this beautiful unfoldment occurring. It's just this thing of like I'm a sucker for that type of thing, let me tell you. But the moment you start telling me how you've grown, it ruins the whole thing, it taints it. You know what I mean? It's like using your foot to stir the punch bowl. Like, I don't want any. It has to be something that I witness on my own terms. I witness it coming from you, and then suddenly I'm like, "Oh my god." Yes, yes, especially when you cultivate your intelligence. That's just, I'm saying, how many of you are attracted to intelligence? Like, that's just, mm. I'm saying. I'm not talking about people who are trying to sound intelligent. I'm talking about people who actually are. Who actually are. They don't use, the big words to sound intelligent. You can tell that the way they carry themselves and the way they communicate, their level of emotional maturity, like that type of development is something that cannot be ignored. It just wafts across the room. Whatever space they occupy, you could tell. You can tell. I'm saying you can tell. But, there are people who are very, very good at mimicry. Not trying to talk badly, but I used to be very much drawn to what's his Jason Silva? Is that his name? I think that's his name. He's a very good performer. Don't get me wrong. He's very, very good at spoken word, at communication, at enunciation and pronunciation. He's very good at his word selection too. But I realized after a certain point, and I had watched so many of his videos for weeks on end, I was obsessed. Like, oh my God, he's so intelligent. It's ridiculous. And then after a certain point, I was just like, sir, oh, you got me, didn't you? You are regurgitating other people's thoughts. None of this are your thoughts. You are quoting people and just expostulating. Like, no, that's not. That was a letdown. That was absolutely a letdown for me. I was like, oh, that sucks. Carrying on, unsubscribing and carrying on. There are things afoot. See, someone's choices are being taken from them because they believe that you are forbidden. This is the person who's respectful of your space and your energy. They believe that you're forbidden. I don't know, maybe some of you are. Well, I guess that would depend. What is your intention? If your intention is simply to reconnect in order to communicate, update, share thoughts, whatever, there shouldn't be anything forbidden about that. There shouldn't. But if your intention is to reconnect because you have this ulterior motive of, trying to win the hoo-ha, yeah, no. Yeah, no, no. So this has to do more with like really making sure that whatever the decision is, whatever the choices are, whatever your intention is, you understand what that is, right? If you're cross watching, really be sure what your intention is. There are some people who it's not worth it to push that agenda because the way you will suffer in their absence is just not worth it. Right? So it's best for some to maybe consider just a lifelong platonic friendship, just so that you could still have the interaction and communication. For others, I mean, if you want to be like stubborn AF, that's good. I'm stubborn too. We can carpool to the graveyard. I'm saying, you want to die on that hill? Scoot over. I'll die with you. Success in reverse has to do with this sense of like forbidden choices. I'm wondering if someone is in someone else's head about what they should do pertaining to you. Someone is watching you though. Someone is watching you. They're, wanting some fulfillment. I don't know that they're going to get fulfillment if they don't know what it is they're trying to fulfill. I think the time for childhood games is done. I just feel that strongly. The time for the childhood games is done, and we really don't need none of that. We don't want none of that. Now I'm saying, seriously, they're being pushed out of their safe space and they're entering into this, warrior phase. They feel like they have to fight for things. I don't know. Why don't you do this? Go and shout some. Is it EMDR, EMDR, EDMR? Stop. EMDR? EMDR. See, the dyslexia be hitting hard some days. Eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. I feel like it should be common practice for people who are traumatized off of the whole twin flame thing to seek EMDR therapy. It will help you identify within yourself where specific life memory. This is not what I should get certified in EMDR therapy. I should get certified in it. I don't want to though. If it's done in a certain way, which this is kind of what I do when I do sessions with people. I'm not doing EMDR because I'm not certified in that. But what I do is I access your auric field in order to identify where this trauma is stored. Oftentimes you store that trauma, which is a bioelectric pulse, and it's stored in specific muscle fibers. If you know how to access the fascia, going deeper beyond just a superficial fascia, you can actually go from chakra to fascia to the trauma ball. It's fascinating stuff. But if you can do that, then you can clear that. If you know where it is and you know what you're doing, it can be cleared. Now, you have to be able to reach an extremely high octave of frequency. Most people are not able to do that, so they can't reach the core program codes. And that's why they can't affect permanent change in your life. Anywho, self-worth is in reverse, right? So this is someone who doesn't quite understand their worth. This is someone who has been struggling so hard with moving forward, with healing. I would not be surprised if this was someone who is in a trauma bond. Maybe that's why they're entering into this warrior stage, because whoever they've bonded with using trauma, that person is not allowing them to move forward from that trauma. You know what? Maybe during that 12/12 primer event, I'll be correcting those trauma bonds. But, that's hard because it's going to create havoc in your life. Because then the person's going to wild out. They're going to wild out once they realize the bond has been broken. They will wild out. Trauma bonds are kind of like a succubus incubus connection. They wild the F out once they realize they're losing their harpy grip on you. The fledgling. So someone is exiting out of this fledgling state. And as they exit out of that fledgling state, a fledgling is basically like a baby bird that can't quite fly yet. Yeah. You're exiting out of that. You're getting ready to fly the coop, and they're going bonkers. Um, whoever it is, it's someone. It's for the person that's been considering and watching you. They're struggling deeply. They're struggling very much with exiting out of certain cycles of their life. They've been trying to exit this for some time now. They keep being reeled back in. I mean, you know what you do if you can't get the hook out of your fish mouth? You cut the line. Cut the line. The line is much easier to cut in order to release yourself rather than ripping the lip. I'm sorry. I used to go fishing quite a bit as a kid. Yeah. You cut the line. The sea salt allegedly eventually dissolves, it corrodes the hook. Allegedly. I don't think so. I don't think it happens that fast. That's what they told me as a kid. And I was just like, no. What I used to try and do, we would fish deep sea fishing. We would catch like baby tiger sharks. Like just fucking huge. They have teeth already. And so no one wants to get the hook out of the mouth, and they'd be like, just leave it. Like, no. So what I would try and do, um, I would find the pliers on the boat and I would cut the barb off. I've almost got bit several times. I would cut the barb off and they're like, you ruined the hook. Well, if you're going to cut the line, you're not going to have that hook anyways. So that's what I would do. I cut the barb off, and you could more easily take the hook out the mouth. It's the barb that keeps it in place. Sorry, I had to share that. I'm not sure why. Belonging house of night, but it's in reverse. So, someone in the shadow is considering stepping into the light. Stepping into the light. The light of your truth. It's a new consciousness that's being formed. I wish you guys were part of the Soul Sanctuary Love, because I went and I did this whole talk about it. I'll show you guys. Yo, I will show you guys part of what we discuss in the Soul Sanctuary Love. This was part of like a really intense message yesterday. Hold on. La 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 la. Bow to partner. See what I'm saying? Show you again. Right? I'm saying it has to do with that. If you were part of that conversation yesterday, it has to do with that. A new type of consciousness is being allowed to come forward. So there are some who are a bonded pair, energetically bonded, maybe not in real life bonded yet. It's an energetic pair, and one has already begun existing within the second solar consciousness. Other one still in the first solar consciousness, so the lower harmonic universe of consciousness. And so as that collision occurs, whoop, and it's a coupling that occurs, right? But I mean, that's neither here nor there. Ancestors, remembrance. So for whoever this is, your ancestors are speaking to you right now. They're telling you to listen. Listen closely with your big ass ears. I have big ass ears too. Calm down. I have big ass Buddha ears. Okay. I've been told that my whole life. It's nothing ugly. Look, they're big. Okay. They're big and they'll eventually hang low. It's fine. There are people who like big ears. Okay. There are people who like ears that stick out. Calm down. If people in your environment don't find you attractive, you need a new environment, not a new aesthetic. I'm saying. When I was much younger, people were like, oh my God, you're so dark. You're like gothic. I know, right? It's sexy. I'm saying what? And then I found my people. I began freelancing as a makeup artist. Black on black, baby boo. They liked it. They're like, ooh, girl, black is your color. I know, right? Okay, let me quit. Don't change you, change your environment. I'm saying. All right. So, patience is needed as well as unconditional love for the self, first and foremost, before you go ahead and, try and love other people. It's not that you're incapable of receiving love if you don't know how to love yourself. It's that you can, but the chances of you still thinking unhealthy love is the only type of love is very high. Okay. So I mean, there's nothing you can't do. Don't let people tell you what you can and can't do, but just know, the kind of unnecessary struggles that could potentially be experienced. You've never noticed anyone's ears? I'm going to show you mine. My big ass ears. You want to touch it? And they're super soft. They're super soft. Do you want to touch it? No, you don't get to touch it. Yeah, I once said that to someone to weird them out and they weren't weirded out. And so I learned I shouldn't joke around like that because then they're like, "Oh, you're going to let me touch it?" No. No. No, I'm not. This is joking. Okay. Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Limitless free spirit and shadow self, they're in reverse, right? These are the things you need to correct about yourself. Your perception that you're limited, your lack of willingness to be a free spirit, and this refusal to accept, embrace your shadow self. You want your life to become peaceful and feel good? Fix these 3 things. Very simple. It's a complex simplicity simply because you like to make the simplicity complex. I'm not joking. It's true. Sometimes when you're super intelligent and you're in the wrong environment, you are convinced that an easy solution can't possibly be real because the environment you're in is an environment conducive to struggle, right? Right. So you exit out of that environment and put yourself in the appropriate environment. Sometimes the appropriate environment has to be solo for a time. And then you begin to purge out all of the BS teachings of being limited, that being a free spirit is a bad thing. Act your age. Bitch, this is my age. I've had people tell me, act your age. What age is that? What age is that? We went to, expect, and she carded us. I was like, what? And she just looked at me like, yeah, driver's license. I was like, oh shit, you're making my day. Give me a number. How old do you think I am? Yeah, I don't know if it was me or if it was the people I was with. Maybe I don't look that young. But yeah, anywho, it's started a chapter, but in order to do that, you have to get out of this refusal to transform yourself. You have to begin communicating between the self and the soul. And then you have to begin working on your sense of self-worth. Sometimes people won't understand your sense of self-worth or your worth, period, until you have no more apologies about your worth. The only time people began to understand the gravity of me, the true gravity of me, because apparently I carry a gravity of some kind, right? I carry some type of gravity that I don't quite understand. I'm oblivious to it. And people didn't understand the gravity of it, the importance of it, until I stopped apologizing for drawing them to me. I don't do that on purpose. Stop. I'm an introvert. Stop. But that's the thing. There is a gravity that cannot be denied. And if you are still apologizing for it, it gives this message and this encouragement to the people who want to take advantage of that lack of knowledge. There are a lot of people in this world who will take advantage of your lack of knowledge. They will try and tell you things hoping that you don't know, because if you don't know, they can sell you on something. And it's going to be this thing of like, you don't know, so you don't know any better. Oh, oh my gosh. This is sad. This is very sad. This is very sad. Oh my goodness. I'm just reminding myself that I cannot go around the world collecting people like puppies and trying to rehabilitate you. Like, no, that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to encourage you to choose to rehabilitate yourself, right? Because if I were to do that for you, which I'm absolutely capable of doing, I've been able to do that my whole life. But if I do that for you, you don't understand the gravity of what you have accomplished and allowed me to simply shift. You get credit. It's nothing. It continues a cycle with an additional layer of dependency upon me, which that sucks. That sucks. We don't want that. We don't want that. Okay. So confusion, growth hurts, heals, and harnesses away through the uncertainty, but it's in reverse. So it's confusion with unnecessary pain. And maybe part of the message is that it's no longer confusion. The pain is rooted in an awareness that cannot be denied. Someone chose the wrong thing. They chose the wrong thing and they're realizing it and they can't correct it. And it's almost this sense of like, you are the corrector. You're the correction. Connecting with you is a point of correction. Ooh, that's deep. Card number 16, melting mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. See, and that's the thing. They're not allowing their spirit self to shine through. It's very muddled. Have you ever seen a lotus thriving beneath the water's surface? See, a lotus can thrive in murky waters, right? That's their natural environment. But have you ever seen them beneath the surface? No, those are usually dead lotus. So that's the thing. They're not allowing their spirit self to shine through. They're trying to stay beneath the surface. Another thing is that, I was watching this. Sometimes I watch the oddest content, right? But there was this video that I came across where I forget his name. You guys probably know who he is. He was on some podcast. I don't remember which one. But he was talking about the Egyptians and their depictions of the blue lotus. And it was this thing of, he was sharing that they learned to process the lotus in such a way that it became their most prized spiritual medicine. It's hallucinogenic. And they were able to connect with divinity and see things and develop levels of expanded awareness that gave them a much more pronounced, much more profound understanding of the world around them. So that's basically what this person is. It's someone who can help you tap into your divinity. Oh my God, that's what it is. They are the lotus that is being held in murky waters for your growth. That's who that person is. Hmm. Mhm. But see, they can't fulfill their function with these distorted perceptions, right? Reality is rarely what we are raised to believe it is. So that's what this confusion is about. That's what this melting mask is about. That's what all of this is about. Hold on, where is it? Oh, it's not there. I don't even know where it is. I don't know what card I'm looking for. Yeah, the whole forbidden thing in the choices, the lack of success, the lack of focus, the improper use of strength. Hmm. That's deep. That's deep. That is definitely a soul-based connection that someone would willingly choose. And I want to be careful of how you receive this, okay? Don't do this for other people. This is something that if it's soul-based thing, it's just something that occurs, not something that someone tries to create in order to prove the soul-based connection. But to have the path of two become this thing where one would choose to willingly allow themselves to be held in the murkiest of waters in order to be the nectar that would provide you that spiritual clarity to expand. And in your expansion, you would then pluck that blue lotus from the Nile and place it in the most beautiful of spaces within your palace. Wow. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Card number 8, you are not your wounds. Oh. So I hear a message. You are not the emptiness left by the absence. Oh. You are not the emptiness left by the absence. And that there is still a rhythm to the beat of your existence, and that rhythm is held by another, right? So this is a very deep, 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 deep reading. This is a very deep reading. And it's like, so one is identifying as the wound left by the absence. The other is the spirit self. Be who you are as you are, existing as the heart of another, living a separate life. Oh my God, the stories. Oh my God. This is too much. This is just too much. This is too much poetry too early in the day. Yeah. Mhm. Someone's like, "How did you get all of that?" Michael showed me a hallway. Those are the thoughts that come from it. All right. So someone has gone through the valley of shadows, but as they've been reborn, they've forgotten that they are a royal returning. They've forgotten the location of their throne room. They have forgotten to hold their head high, for a crown sits upon it. They've forgotten to build themselves back up to their proper position. They're existing still in a state of duality, refusing to awaken, because to climb the ladder of Jacob is to come to a realization that you indeed are protected from the unnecessary pain. So what you felt, you are not innocent to the knowing of what this is, it is a process of expanded, accelerated, amplified growth. Yes. Yeah. This is intense. Intense, intense. Intense. No, I'm saying poetry because of the poetic prose. I'm not reciting poetry. It's not something I memorized. If I got speak at I speak weird, but allow myself to speak in my natural kinda. I do, I speak weird. Some people say I speak Yoda. Yeah, no, call the aliens in. That's a solution. Existence. Call in the aliens, they will fix everything. Let's get a final card. Oh no. All right. All right. All right. Now, do you understand when I say I speak weird? My natural speaking is weird. Someone's like, say more. Yo, you gotta. I must be deep in introspection. The involution for the evolution of consciousness expansion. Oh my God. Sorry. I'll stop. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, card number 11, sacred convergence. I'm telling you guys, a convergence is imminent. Convergence is imminent, and whatever this is, it's going to be something that's going to massively impact the development of the collective consciousness. It's intended to do this. You already have the two consciousness converging, forming a Pisces Vesica to form a new solar logos, right? I'm just saying. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but you know, sacred convergence. Roaming about town, the master was holding a light, saying, I'm weary of the demons and the beasts. A human is what I'm longing for. The human cannot be found. We have searched. What cannot be found is what I'm longing for. Although poor and needy, I will not accept small pieces of ruby. The mine of the finest rubies is what I'm longing for. One hand holding a cup of wine and the other the curls of the beloved. A dance like this in the middle of the circle is what I'm longing for. How I have longed for you, my very own. Look no further for the family beyond your family, the relationship beyond all other relationships, the great love that unveils all other loves to be mere reflections of the one great and true love is here for you now. It is I who has sought you through the stirrings of your own heart. Yes, 'twas I, hidden beneath every secret yearning for something more, something full, something special, something all-encompassing. Behind every yearning always I have hidden. Now I show myself to you that you may become so filled with the same passionate devotion that I hold for you, that your mind will fall away overwhelmed by the sheer intensity of love, tossed into an ocean of silent, unending bliss. Come to me, we are to be one now, in sacred convergence of silent, eternal passion. Sacred convergence indicates a coming together of souls in alignment with a greater cause. This greater cause is both personal and impersonal. There is an aspect of joining together for common purpose, although that purpose may not be immediately obvious at a level of day-to-day consciousness. That common soul purpose may be to lift each other into greater love and self-belief, to shed fear and open the heart, filling each individual soul with more holy fire for its personal, passionate purpose. You'll have a sense when this process is happening. There will be a coming together of you with like-minded souls who hail from all walks of life, and yet together, through some invisible genius, you will help each other. You may simply be dancing in the same room, or singing in a group, attending a class or workshop, or just visiting the same beach or parkland. But at that moment, there will be a sense of something coherent and nourishing happening at a far greater level. Ooh, my gosh. The trickle-down effect into your personal life will be felt too. You'll have more energy after spending time with these people, even if you don't interact very much on a personal level beyond being in the same space. You'll feel empowered to step forward on your path and love yourself with less conditions. You'll become freer to shed your fears, let go of relationships based in fear and judgment, and open up to those more loving, responsive, and inspiring to continue on your personal journey in increasingly profound ways. This oracle has come to you because you are part of a greater sacred convergence happening now. Perhaps you have already sensed its progression, or perhaps it will not be obvious to you, but the effect, whether obvious or subtle, will be important to your soul development and divine awakening. This is a period where Paladorian contracts are going active. Okay? They're going active, and it's going to create a lot of shifting, a lot of shifting. You're being asked to drop defenses and barriers towards groups of people that feel good for you. However, those that dampen your spirit or drag you down are to be dispensed with, no matter what games of blame or manipulation they may play to keep you coming back for more. No, that shall not do for your soul growth now. Just step away. Turn towards those connections that feel nourishing to your soul and learn to share yourself without fear. Just be. You do not have to force the planets to spin nor the great cycles of the soul to happen. All that's required is that you show up for what is offered to you now. Do your part, take your steps, dance, sing, and be, and allow the gifts of sacred connection to change your world. For this is a spiritual gift presented to you now. This oracle comes with a special message. Perhaps you've been thinking of shedding lower vibrational connections based in the ego world of power games, sabotage, manipulation, and fear. Perhaps you have already begun this process or even shed so many you are fearing you might have overpruned to be left with nothing and no one. Do not fear, feisty angel of love. Your truth is prevailing. You cannot stay in a vibration of fear if you want to dwell in a vibration of love. While you learn to sustain that vibration within you until it cannot be rattled by any crisis or demand, you are wise to place yourself in more nourishing connections. If you want a plant to grow, why not give it the best soil and conditions in which to do so? Certainly, the plant of love can and will grow in the most inhospitable conditions, but it can be rather more joyful to grow in gentler, more nourishing conditions if possible. This oracle comes to you with guidance that the possibility for more joyful relationships and growth of love within you is in your power. You can choose day by day, each moment. Just make a choice. Trust yourself, your discernment, and your intuition, and choose. You do not owe anyone anything. Repeat this law of karma. You only owe love the chance to grow. The chance to grow, not the forcing, coercion, or any of that. So let that be your guiding principle now as you release the old, and trust that even if your garden of relationship becomes sparse for a while, you have been cutting back unhealthy plants to allow for new life to flourish. It's only a matter of timing for the season of new life and growth to come again. And so it shall, bringing with it sacred convergence of souls in the path of love. Your tribe, your soul family, your new tribe of those journeying upon the path of love. So a lot of really beautiful things can happen. This watching you and wishing can possibly come to fruition if there's an alignment there. If it's merely coercion, attempting to dominate, attempting to force, y'all know what I'm going to say. Y'all know what I'm going to say. Shall I say it? Fuck that shit. No. No. You deserve a love that's worthy of you, not a love that's trying to convince you that you should be worthy of it. The only appropriate way to love a goddess is to cherish her in all her ways, much like the moon, regardless of the phase she's in. She shines the brightest on the darkest of nights. So don't let people diminish you just because of that wax and wane cycle. If you are a goddess, act as one. Expect, have these expectations, and settle for nothing less. Nothing less. So, if you are a god, gods are made to create. And if you cannot create the situation that would entice a goddess to choose you, maybe you're not a god. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Goddesses don't compete. If you liken yourself as a goddess, but compete with other goddesses, you are not a goddess. You are not. Nor are you a high priest or priestess. You are someone who has lost their way and is attaching labels onto yourself to create a sense of power, a sense of value that is not yours. And that is why you suffer and struggle. If you were to strip yourself bare, naked in your truth, allow yourself to stand in the light of your own truth, allow that solar consciousness to be absorbed by your skin, letting the sun kiss you in all your places, you'll begin to understand the beauty of who you are. It takes no effort to be you. It does take courage, though, to take the clothes off that you've used as a way to hide the truth of your identity. It's up to you what you want to do with these readings. I wouldn't let toxic people back in. I wouldn't let myself diminish myself just to prove my loyalty to someone who was never worthy of it. It's taken me quite a few years to learn what standards I need to use to determine who's worthy of that type of loyalty, because I promise you, if I am loyal to you, I am loyal to you beyond a shadow of a doubt. Regardless of what you do, I have got you. I have got you, and there is nothing you can do. Nothing you can do to make me not have you, so long as you're worthy of it. The moment you become unworthy of it is the moment I retract myself from you. And no, it's not a punishment. At least on my end, it's not. On the receiving end, I bet it feels like a punishment, because I promise you, I love people in a way they've never been loved before. So yeah, all you've done is punished yourself by forcing me to retract myself and my love from you. Good luck finding another one. I promise you, people like me are hard to find. We exist, but we are very hard to find. And because of that, you should always go out of your way to ensure you're worthy of being in the presence of a goddess in the flesh. I'm just saying. They can watch all they want and they can wish. It's up to you. Will you allow yourself to stand tall as a divine being that you are? Or will you bow your head in shame because people are using spiritual concepts in manners they don't understand, are inaccurate for the concept they are using? Too many people do that. Too many people do that. And it's time for you to be aware if you do that or if you're exposed to people who do that. I had talked about some of the processes that we might be experiencing on TikTok. We might be experiencing some processes that are leading up to the 12/12 portal. And I guess for some, it sounded very macabre. 'Cause it was. And I had someone comment like, "No, we are ascending into a new something, something, I don't know." And I was like, "You're talking about a spiritual concept, and I'm talking about the way that spiritual concept will play out in real life in real time." Right? So be careful about allowing yourself to remain in the presence of those who don't even understand the concepts that they're spouting off about. Because really, concepts are different than reality. The way the concept plays out in reality is often far more viscerally felt than some tutti frutti, fluffy clouds and rainbows and butterflies of what that concept is trying to portray. Remember, much of these ancient texts were written by the poets of the time. They speak in poetry. A new world is upon us. Yeah, how's that world going to come? Who's delivering it? How do we exit out of this current world we're in? You see what I'm saying? There's not going to be someone who's going to come and save you from your own process of learning and expansion of awareness, because you don't need to be saved from that. You need to be fully immersed in it and rise from it, your own time, your own measure. Let them watch you in your process. Let them observe you as you return back to your proper place of being a god and goddess in the flesh. This message is not just for the feminines, it's for everyone. Whatever you choose to do with this is up to you. I believe in sovereignty and I uphold sovereignty. So you need to begin deciding things for yourself, thinking for yourself, and allowing yourself to be the utmost authority in your life. Yes, it's very much an honor for me to be able to assist with giving clarity, to be part of the process you're in, gain that clarity for yourself. But no one else can do this for you but you. No one else can do this for you but you. You have to begin making the choices that raise you back up and place that crown back upon your head. Let it be you who carries yourself back into your throne room, placing you upon your own throne. There is no reason you should grovel at someone's feet. None. None. Ever. So, guys, I got to go. I have some aggression that I have to work out in the gym. I have to start sessions. I have to do all these different things. I hope you guys received whatever enlightenment you're needing for your personal situation. Everyone's situation is unique. If you are wanting to do more energetically for this period, I really encourage you to consider joining me for, oops, that's not it. Encourage you to join me for this. Excuse me. This right here. I'll put it in the comments. Portal Primer event is going to be a very potent one. Very, very, very potent event. And let me, there you go. There you go. All right. So, guys, please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do subscribe. Turn on that notification bell. Join me when I'm live. I will see you guys probably, I don't know, tomorrow, Friday, Saturday. I don't know. Subscribe so that you get the notifications. Stop. All right, guys. I love you. I'll see you again very soon. Bye, everyone.